All right, here I am in Discord. Today, our coding demo is going to be about text markup. Discord has some tools that allow it to recognize code, and you can mess around a little bit with it. Let's start with the simplest possible thing that you can do, and that would be to put one star around your text, and that is going to give you italics. Similarly, I can put 2 stars around the text, and what I end up with is bold text. Now, if I go for 3 stars, maybe you can guess what happens. It's going to be bold and italics. So just to review, italics 1 star on either side, bold 2 stars, and bold and italics 3 stars. Now, we also have underline. And that would be 2 underscores. The underscore is just after the 0 key. You're going to hit Shift and get the underscore. And if you have 2 of those before and after, that is underlining. And of course, you can also combine these formats. If I want, for example, bold and underline. And as far as basic text markup, there's one more thing. You can strike through. And that would be to put, that you'd be putting the tilde shape, which is in the top left of your keyboard. Strike through with the tilde. So if you wanted to say, for example, I think that idea A should trump idea B, but then you don't want to use trump, you want to use a synonym. Let's strike through it and say supersede. I think idea A should supersede idea B. And we end up with the strike through. So that would be a way to highlight something that you don't want to say. Great. So what about color? Well, first of all, let's talk about different ways to set the text apart. If I use a caret and then a space, then you can see I've got the extra line there. And if I do 3 carets and then the space, then I'm hitting Shift as I hit Enter here, and that keeps that bar on the side going for multiple lines. But as far as the main part of this activity, I want to show you the code blocks. So I create a code block with the tick marks. And that is up on the top left with no Shift key, the tick mark. So that would give me a 1-line code block if I have a tick mark before and after. If I go for 3 code blocks, I can put anything in here. And I'm hitting, well, actually, I can just hit and Enter. When I'm in the code block, I hit Enter, and it automatically takes me to the next line, as opposed to finishing the message. Once I have the tick marks at the end, then I hit Enter, and I can put literally anything into a block. So one thing I could do is write something in VexVR and then use that code converter. So I can just copy and paste all of this. What happens if I just enter all that? Well, it just appears as regular text. Now, see the difference when I put it in with the 3 ticks before and after. And it appears in that block set apart. So that's a little easier to see than the other one. But how about this one? 3 tick marks and PY. Why am I putting PY right there? Because it stands for Python. And that is telling Discord that now, whatever comes next, I expect you to mark it up as if it is Python code, which in fact it is. And then I just got to make sure I put those 3 ticks at the end. And now you can see the difference. A lot of it is still the same, but certain words like defining the function, while, if, and any numbers are appearing in color, just because that's the standard way that we mark up Python code. Great, so how can we use this to our advantage just to do crazy stuff and impress people? Well, let's go color by color. Start off with a yellow dancing Teletubby. So just to review, I want this to be bold and italicized, so I'm going to give it 3 stars. So how am I going to create yellow text? The simplest way is to start a code block with the code type fix, F-I-X. And if you were to ask me how this is used in actual coding, I could not tell you. But it would, if you enter something like that with a fix after the first 3 ticks, all the text is yellow. The other cool thing you can do with fix is to get some cyan in there. Cyan is like a blue-green light color. So how about this? Everything is yellow. What do I do to switch it? I start a new line and I hit equals. Except for this. And so if I enter that, so by default, the text is going to be yellow, except if there's an equal sign in the beginning of the line, and that'll give you cyan. So just to remind you, that one was called fix, F-I-X. If we want to create red, here's another one. It's called diff, D-I-F-F. So let's try it. 3 ticks with diff. Now this one I understand slightly more. It's used to compare different files. It's not a language exactly, but it's a tool that you would use in different kinds of languages. And it's kind of an advanced thing that you don't really need to know about until you get there. But how do we do this? We need a dash, and then we get red. And easy to remember, there's a minus and a plus. And just in case you want a third option, you can use 3 dashes, 3 hyphens, or 3 stars. Okay, so we're using the diff option here with a plus and a minus. And in diff code, pluses and minuses are marked with red and green. So by telling Python to expect diff code in the code block, it will take on that standard color markup. Next, how are we going to create blue? All right, I got to pick a good one here. Okay, this one's good. So we're going to create blue with with a version of this INI. I think it is short for initialization. It's a code type that we use for very simple files to store a lot of information. Again, it's kind of an advanced thing that only an advanced programmer would use. But when we are using INI, brackets will give us blue. Brackets give you blue. And you can do unlimited blue with that. Also, if you want to put a semicolon in front of something, that is the same as marking it out as a comment, I believe. Oh, what happened? Is it because I completely forgot to say INI at the beginning? Let's try that again. Yes, that is what happened. I just forgot to put that little code bit in the beginning. So using the INI markup, we get blue. And where do we go from here? So, right. Oh, hold on. Oh, never mind. Okay, so next, let's take a detour into green. And the best way to get green is with CSS. Now, CSS is something you should actually know about. It stands for Cascading Style Sheet, and it's used in web design. So what happens when we mark something as CSS code? Well, this is used in web design. It's green. The cool thing about CSS is that there are actually a lot of neat options. You have a hashtag here. How about hashtag me too? And also, you can use a dot to make something blue. And it's only one single word in either case. The hashtag or the dot is making your thing blue. So we might have green regular text, and then you put a dot in front of it. But then, yeah, so that changes to blue. So, yeah, green, CSS is probably your best option for green. CSS has some other neat options too that you could combine in the same block. Here is an interesting thing. Yeah, so yellow text and whatever goes there. So let me just put something else there. Yo. And if I put stars on the other end of this, yellow and cyan are connected in this structure. I'm going to close that, and I put another bracket at the end. Oh, excuse me. It's not a star, it's a single quote. So it's, yeah, just to review this. Brackets around everything. The first word is yellow with a colon, and then everything in quotes becomes cyan. And, oh, here's another good thing with CSS that you can do. Brackets give you orange. So that's all using the CSS tag. When you're telling Discord to look for CSS, then it will format your text in this way. Let me hit you with another one that I found interesting. You can look these up, by the way. Look up color text formatting in Discord. Just Google that, and you'll see other options also. ML is another advanced coding language that people use. And you could use yellow for capitals. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I have to capitalize everything. Interesting. For caps. If I have something in quotes, then that is cyan. If I have something in single quotes, that gives me red. Oh. And the word in apparently is an operator. Let's see. Okay. So what happens? Oh, okay. Apparently you only get the single word that in red when you use. Oh, and this is called ML, by the way, just to review that. Now, let's just take one more quick look at Python. There are different options in Python, but the @ sign, use the @ symbol to get orange. So that's another neat option for you. So now you are a master of your Discord server. You can create colored text and formatted text to express yourself.